right, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I greatly appreciate it. So if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram and you saw my video last week, then you know exactly what we are doing here today. If you are not aware, Casey Anthony decided that it was time, I guess, to reemerge and do a rebrand. Rebranding away from the, baby murderer image, allegedly, accusedly. I don't know what the proper legal terminology is, but regardless, she decided that that was what she was going to be doing now. And I fully was gonna let it go after I posted my initial rant. Unfortunately, she then started directing people to her Substack, where she had most recently, at that point in time, posted a bunch of libel laws in different states saying, watch your mouth, basically. And if there's one thing that this bitch can't do, it is watch her mouth. Okay? This thing runs 24/7, 365. And Casey Anthony, you're no exception. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Well, actually, let me be clear. What we are discussing today is just a reminder for those of you who need it of what this woman was accused of doing. And I have to say accused because she appears to be lawyer happy. And in fact, that is kind of her whole premise of returning to the public square. So let's go ahead and get into it. I got my tea here in my very cute little Snoopy mug. If you don't know this about me, I love peanuts. It's one of my favorite things. And I got this one for spring from TJ Maxx. It's so cute. I love her. Yeah, let's dive in. But before we do, this is your reminder to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. We are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers, so I would really, really appreciate it. We do all things political commentary, societal commentary, lifestyle vlogs, that kind of thing. It's just kind of a conglomerate on my channel. Honestly, whatever I feel like posting or creating content about, I do. I refuse to fall into a niche, and it's been a little bit problematic for me because people like niches, but I've never chosen the easy path. Let's dive right in. I do want to say right at the top, since she was legally found not guilty, everything I'm saying here is my own opinion, and it is all based on very public information that you can go find yourself. And I am not saying that she is a baby murderer, because she did very subtly hint at suing anyone who makes that claim on Substack. So I, Noelle Pullen, am not saying that Casey Anthony is a baby murderer. Just to be clear. I can't say that directly, but this is America and I do still have freedom of speech. So what I can say is Casey Anthony can suck my dick. All right, so basically we are going to go through a rough timeline. I don't want this video to be long. I just want this to serve as a reminder, because what is truly disturbing, I think, to myself and others is that Casey Anthony has managed to garner, at the time of filming this, she's close to 70,000 followers on TikTok. And I just want to know who you are for just research purposes. I just want to know who you are. And I just think we could all use a little reminder of what she was accused of. So this case started back in 2008 when Cindy Anthony, who is Casey Anthony's mother, reported Kaylee Anthony, who was her daughter, Casey's daughter, missing. Now, a couple strange things about that. So the reason that it ended up being Cindy who filed this report is because Casey's car got repossessed or towed or something like that, and her parents ended up in possession of the car. And that car smelt like decomposing body parts. So that, was suspicious. And I do believe that Casey and her family had gotten into an argument about a month, maybe longer, before this. And so Casey was living with a boyfriend and his roommates. So then when Casey's parents become in possession of her car, her mother is like, where is Kaylee? Haven't seen my granddaughter in a while. And Casey is like, oh, the nanny, Zanny, kidnapped her. No, yeah, the nanny named Zanny kidnapped her. Well, first it was a kidnapping, and then it was more of like, well, she was with her when she went missing. And Cindy is like, why have you not reported this? Unknown, because that had happened a month ago. Kaylee had been missing at this point for a month, 30 days. And Casey just neglected to mention that. And when speaking to her boyfriend's roommates' friends, they all had similar stories saying that Kaylee just kind of stopped coming around out of nowhere. And when they asked Casey about it, she would just say that she's with the nanny. Oh, they went to Disneyland. Oh, they did this. Oh, whatever. She's with the nanny. But she was never with the nanny. In fact, she was so never with the nanny that Casey did later admit that that was all a fabrication. She just completely made it up. And that the nanny that she named ended up suing her, I do believe, because what the hell? And Casey also lied. She brought police to her job that she had at Universal Studios. Like, this is how crazy. She told them that she was working at Universal Studios, brought them to the office, and then when they arrived at the office, they learned that she hadn't been working there for 2 years. I'm sorry, it's giving pathological liar. And not to mention, the entire month that her 2-year-old daughter, according to her initial statement, was missing, she's out partying, she is at clubs, she did a bikini contest, she's just living it up as a 22-year-old woman, just absolutely living the high life, just not a care in the world that her 2-year-old is reportedly missing. I don't have children. I've never experienced a child being missing, thank God. I just feel like that wouldn't be your natural inclination to go party. Again, I've never been in the situation. Who am I to judge? But it just doesn't seem right. So then she does end up getting arrested for probable homicide. And they later find Kaylee's remains in the woods. And her remains were covered in there was duct tape around where her nose and mouth would be. So the prosecution was thinking that Kaylee had given her chloroform and duct taped her. And it was thought that this was something that she did often to quiet her down. And she just died this time. I don't think that I don't know that I necessarily even think that she intentionally killed Kaylee. I take that back because I don't know how you can ever put duct tape on your child's mouth without the intention being to end their life. So immediate regret upon saying that. It is my belief that Casey Anthony killed her daughter, allegedly, accusatorily. Unless I can get sued for saying that, then I take it back, and that was a joke. Anyways, so the prosecution paints this picture, but they can't quite prove it. And the defense tells this story that Kaylee drowned in a pool accidentally. And then, I don't know, I guess that Casey just panicked and hid the body because that's what you do when you're innocent. They also did mention in the court case that her father was sexually abusive. And in a documentary that Casey put out a couple of years ago, she completely switched that story to not only was he sexually abusive, but he was in fact the one that killed Kaylee. So I think in the court case, they were presenting it that he was involved in the initial cover-up. And then in the documentary, she switched it from he's not involved in the cover-up. He's the one that actually killed her. So, just all of the tales. But let's just take the defense's story, benefit of the doubt, This poor baby drowns in the pool accidentally. Mother doesn't know what to do, panics, makes the wrong decision, and decides to try and cover it up because that's so fucking logical. Your 2-year-old daughter just died. And you're in this state of panic of trying to hide this and cover it up because you're scared. Why would you put duct tape on her mouth? Because that is how her remains were found. Yeah, I know. It doesn't really add up to me either, but I want to look at a statement that was given from the medical examiner in an interview that was done 10 years later. Looking back 10 years, what I was most appalled with was this lack of the truth and the lack of substantiated information. You could just say lies and not back it up by any kind of evidence, and it was allowed. That was a turning point for me. This has been happening more and more in the past 10 years, but for me, that was the first time I had to deal with it in society. That sometimes the truth doesn't matter, and if you say it loud enough and often enough, people get confused and start believing you. As a medical examiner, we're expected to do a few things. Identify the body, come up with a cause of death, why that person died, and the manner of death. We don't look at just what the autopsy or just what the body shows. We look at the scene, we look at the circumstances, we look at what's going on preceding the death. And in this case, we have a child that is not reported missing. When the child is reported missing by the grandmother, there's no explanation that's credible of what happened to that child. The body has clearly been hidden. It has been put in 2 plastic bags and then put in a canvas bag and then thrown behind a rotting log a couple of blocks from her house. And then we have the duct tape that is still present on the face. Those 3 things together clearly made this a homicide. It's not changed in my mind. It's not changed in the police's mind. It's not changed in the prosecutor's mind. There's absolutely no proof that this is an accidental death. Sometimes I think science took a back seat on the truth with the Caylee Anthony case. That statement, gives me chills because it's just so obvious. And what ended up happening, because truthfully, the only people who think Casey Anthony is innocent, and I don't even know if that's true, is her defense team, because jurors have come out and said that they definitely think she's evil and that she did something wrong and that it's likely that she killed Caylee, but because the state could not prove how Caylee died for a fact and the fact that the death penalty was on the line, they just simply didn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, and they could not give that guilty verdict for that reason. So everyone believes that Casey did this because that is what the evidence shows. And it's sickening that, especially when you re-look at the evidence and kind of remember all of these various facts. I mean, for me, the biggest factor is the fact that she did not report her daughter missing. This woman is sick and twisted. And you know what? If she wants to sue me for saying that, let her. Because it's worth it, to say the truth. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the crowdfunding for a defense against Casey Anthony would go crazy. So let's test it. Because what I have said so far is strictly my opinion. So then that brings us to last week when I was just minding my own business, relaxing and scrolling on TikTok the way that a person does. And her ugly ass mug pops up on my For You page. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you the video, and it's going to take us a second to get through it because I have a lot to say about it.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings.
Already, just immediately no. I don't want several recordings. I did not want the first.
Starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you.
Okay, so I think that's something that really pissed a lot of people off, understandably, because it's really audacious to say that you're going to advocate for your daughter when you murdered her. Allegedly, accusatorily, she was found innocent of that.
You who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself.
Right there, when I said at the top of the video that she came out trying to do a rebrand, I need to reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Casey Anthony, the baby murderer. Allegedly, accusatorily, she was found innocent of that. I just don't know that you're the type who gets a rebrand, you know? Like JoJo Siwa, she rebranded. It didn't go well, but she did it, and that was fine, you know, like whatever. You know, Casey, maybe just like don't, I don't know. It's just, and further, I fear that most people would not come looking to you for legal advocacy. Personally, if I were in hot water, I would not want the person advocating for me to be Casey Anthony. Maybe that's just me, but
I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people.
So, she's doing this for money. Okay, so like, let's be clear about that. And I just want to make sure that we all know following her gives her money. Okay?
To give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened, and it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur, and when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal.
The only reason she said that is to piss me off more. I swear that felt personal. Bitch, what does the LGBTQ community have to do with this? It's like she's just hitting buzzwords to try and like garner sympathy from the retarded left. But even the retarded left is like, bitch, fuck you. You know, like, I'm so flabbergasted at her audacity to be like, I'm an advocate for the gays. Bitch, I don't think they want you. I don't. No one wants you. Go back to your basement, please.
Community, women's rights.
Bitch.
I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me. And
I'm sorry, I know I'm stopping a lot, but she's just saying so much stupid shit. This platform that was thrust upon me. Go back to the video. Go back to the start of this video. Rewatch it. Where was this thrust upon her? Or alternatively, did she murder her baby and become infamous? Allegedly, accusatorily. I don't even know if that's a word, but I've said it like 8 times in this video. And she was found innocent of it. I don't know that it was thrust upon you, girl. Yeah, yikes.
Now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect.
So
they're not going to be
audacious.
edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. but I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car. And
Down with the motorhead! We deserve our privacy!
Fuck these people.
Why are we so mad today?
Because we want our privacy.
Like, that just doesn't even make sense. Unfortunately, she's also just stupid, I think, because nothing she said here made sense. But she did say, let's check out her Substack. So let's do that. Okay, so here it is. So she is a raging leftist. So I guess this would be an excellent point for anyone who has just found my video. I am not a leftist. So if that matters. Okay, so this is what I was telling you guys about with the posting all of the different libel statutes. So once more, everything I said in this video is my own opinion. Casey Anthony has been found innocent on all counts of murdering her baby. And if she does sue me, let's crowdfund that defense. I don't know. Like, none of this shit makes sense. We are living in a time where we are told by political heads of state that we can say and do what we please, and with the help of social media, people tend to act accordingly. Unfortunately, with the current political climate, we are coming to find out that that is simply a facade, and many of us knew this long ago, but more individuals are finding out the hard way. Free speech is not truly free. Having the right to speak your piece does not give you the true privilege to say whatever the fuck you want. Now more than ever, your privacy and your words are not safe. Every single thing you say can be used against you regardless of your intentions. Intentions in the eye of the law do matter. So simply a reminder, what you say matters and the intentions behind them matter. So does that mean like my whole video is fucked? First of all, having the right to speak your piece does not give you the true privilege to say whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, but it like does. Sure. I can't say that Casey Anthony murdered her baby. I can't say that. That would be an example of something that is illegal to say because of libel laws that she posted earlier and made it very abundantly known that we can't say that. But as I said at the top of the episode, I can say that in my opinion, from what I've observed on the public facts, Casey Anthony is a pathological liar and a little narcissistic, perhaps. So there are some character flaws besides baby murdering that she was found innocent of. I found this one funny. I don't know who the hell Carl Dunn is, but he posted, "The internet is making us hate people we don't even know. Log off, go out, talk to a real person. The world isn't as divided as they make it seem on screen. Reconnecting a divided world is what I write about every week, and it's always free, so we can be." And she reposted that. Like, it almost feels like she's saying, yeah, like, you guys hate me and you don't even know me. Thank God I don't know you. I'm like, really, that's a true blessing that you're not a person that's in my life, because that would truly be unfortunate. I mean, imagine if Casey Anthony was an acquaintance. That would just be inconvenient, I feel. So I'm glad about that, but I can still hate you. See, hold on. Here's an example of something that's protected by my First Amendment right, is hating you. And maybe this will be a bold statement, but I think that Casey Anthony is more hated than Donald Trump, because over half the country loves Donald Trump. He won the election. I don't know. I've never met a person who doesn't hate Casey Anthony. So that's another thing that's protected by my First Amendment right to say, and that would really piss her off. Donald Trump is more popular than you. All right, you guys, that is all that I have for you today. I think this video was a little bit longer than I intended for it to be. But once I got yapping about this, man, I cover some pretty irritating topics, but this one just really, really irked me for, I think, understandable reasons. I mean, the audacity of this bitch. Unbelievable, to be honest. But I appreciate you guys sticking around. And again, we are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. So if you did like this video, if you are into societal commentary or lifestyle content, anything of that nature, give me a follow and subscribe to the channel. I would really, really appreciate it. All of my other social medias are linked down below as always. And if you are listening on Spotify, because this is a podcast episode, leave me a rating and a review over there as well. All right, you guys, I will chat with you next time. Bye.